Welcome to the Journey to Wholeness, a podcast by I See My Baby Incorporated. Here, we dive deep into powerful stories of those who have overcome life's greatest challenges, stories of resilience, healing, and renewed faith. I'm Alicia Hurtt, your host, and each week we'll speak to individuals who have transformed struggles with infertility, battles with depression, and crisis of faith into profound growth and purpose. Hello, everyone. It's Alicia Hurtt here, your servant leader, and I am here for another episode of the Journey to Wholeness. I have a phenomenal guest today, Miss Brittany.
Hi.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hi.
So we're going to jump right in, and I want to first thank you for your time, because I know as an entrepreneur, it is not easy to try to fit things in your schedule. So I appreciate you. And if you can tell us a bit about your background and what brought you to this journey.
Well, you've said it, Alicia. My name is Brittany. I am a group fitness instructor. So as you can see from this in the background, I am a graduate of the Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University. Yes, I graduated in 2014 with my bachelor's in science of health informatics and information management. Basically working with medical records, understanding the medical record, and understand the legalities of what needs to be in the record and communicating with physicians and clinical practitioners. I've been in the business, I would say, like almost 11 years. I graduated in 2014. And now I am in this transition in my career where I've created my own business called Prismatic Venus Fitness, which is focusing on pre and postnatal fitness and health and behavioral health for kids as well, and all those other things. Transitioning my business over to focus on that population, because when I first started, I focused really working with the pre and postnatal population, honestly, working with their medical records, seeing them on the floors, communicating with their clinicians, even communicating with the OB offices. So that's really, and working with grassroots programs like Healthy Start, the Department of Health, all of those things basically to improve the healthcare of women in our area. And it's stuck in me. And so like, no, I need to keep doing this and promoting this. Because that was one thing I was very integral when I was there, is once they left, I was like, well, what happens to the moms when they leave the hospital, especially if they're a NICU mommy or if they had complications, like what happened to them? So that's where my business comes in.
Okay. So what were some of the most significant challenges you faced?
Ooh, you have time? The significant challenges is knowing where to start. I know probably as an entrepreneur, you do not want to isolate people from your business. You're like, well, I want to be inclusive and everyone. As I was talking to marketing team, like you need to niche down and find your community. You need to find the people that are going to look at you like, I like that. That is what I need. I'm going to support you. So it has been hard, I will acknowledge for myself, to take my niche, but I think it's just a bit of fear of being in that niche and being an expert in that niche and just like having a bit of imposter syndrome. It's getting over that imposter syndrome. That's where where it's very hard. And if you don't have the support system and people are like, no, I see the vision. I see it. You can keep going. That is one thing that I have noticed that I'm slowly trying to get over, is my imposter syndrome, honestly.
Yes. So what are some ways that you think, because I think we all go through that, like, what are some ways you found that helps with that?
Being present. I'm very much a burn the candle at both ends type of person. I'm just like, I can do all of these things. And it's just like, no, you need to sit in it and relax and take a moment for yourself. My husband's very good at like, come sit, come take a moment, come sit down, relax. So you can be present in the moment and kind of reevaluate what is your purpose. Sometimes I think when you're sitting in your purpose, you just feel like, no, it's going to slow me down if I feel my emotions. And I have to keep going, but it's still burning yourself out, honestly. And that's a hard lesson that I've learned, is having the support system to kind of like, we see your vision, but you just need to take a drink of water, calm down, come lay down, come sit in the grass and meditate and just relax.
That's it. So tell me, how did you find strength during those moments of doubt or difficulty? Even when your husband's telling you just breathe, like how do you find the strength?
I would say it's an inner grit. That's something that my parents have passed down to me. I think that's one thing my parents have always been big on is you got knocked down at the horse. Okay, lick your wounds, take a moment for yourself, and then try it again. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. I'm very much yeah, it failed the first time, but I'm gonna keep going until I figure it out. And I'll just like, it's hard, but it's hard because your ego gets bruised.
Yes.
Your ego gets bruised a lot, but I think that's something my parents, even watching my grandparents, just watching the history of them as Black people in this country and how hard they fought to get here, and just like if they've fought this hard to get here, then this thing that's impacting me is not gonna stop me. I can keep going and keep pushing through, honestly.
Now, I know in navigating your journey, you took some turns, as you told us in your intro. So what was the turning point in your journey to wholeness?
Burnout.
That's real.
Burnout. Honestly, and this is before this was like a red flag and I didn't see it, but it happened again. So when I first got my first big girl job, my first leadership management job, I worked so hard for that job and I got my first performance evaluation. Literally, as soon as I clocked out of work, I admitted myself into the hospital for dehydration and exhaustion. And my mom, I stayed overnight in the hospital. My mom was crying. She's like, "You are hurting. You're da da da." I was just like, "This is what I need to do. I'm hustling. I'm figuring things out." Um, Not realizing then how that impacts my mental and emotional health. And as time has gone on, and I've started seeing a therapist and just communicating my thoughts, feelings, and emotions of, yeah, that's not a good thing. Let's communicate how you're feeling and sitting in my emotions. Sitting in it and realizing, oh yeah, I do need to take a break. Oh, I do need to take time. Right now I'm on FMLA for my job, but just taking FMLA because that's what it's there for. It's for you to take time off, for you to get yourself together, because the job is still going to be there. My mother-in-law has a saying that Lincoln was shot and the Union still survived. That job is still going to be there, but you are not. You need to take care of yourself. And that's something my mother-in-law's words ring very true in my brain, honestly.
Thank you for being transparent and vulnerable. That is great that you shared one way to sit in your emotion. Would there be any other tools that you want the listeners to be aware of ways to sit in? Because think about it, if your emotion is anger, frustration, sadness, grief, like those are some true things. Happiness, okay, we can sit in happiness, but the tough stuff, like what are some other ways to sit in it and a healthy way of sitting in it?
Ooh. So I'm a workout person. I'm very much take my emotions out working out. I'm the why I have my business.
Right.
I grew up dancing, so dancing is my way of working out. My husband, he's a marathon runner, so it's runner. You find something that works for you that takes you out of that moment, honestly. It's dancing. I teach Pilates, I teach strength training, just going to a workout class. If you can't go to a workout class, because I know gyms are very far in between, go for a 30-minute walk. Just be one with nature. Just be one with yourself. Do something that makes you genuinely happy, honestly. I think as we get into our a different phase in our life, I think we put our fun things away, and that causes a lot of like, well, I don't have an outlet to put myself out there. I don't have an outlet to, how would I say, to not be an adult and to turn my brain off. And sometimes you just need something to turn your brain off. So I know for me, fitness is the thing that helps me turn my brain off, honestly.
That's good. That's good. So I've been on a fitness journey, like I've been on so many different programs, LA weight loss, this drink, that pill,
Oh my
this
goodness.
shot. And what has truly helped in navigating, sitting in my grief of my mom passing, has been water aerobics, and you're hitting a nerve because as the new year started, I did not start back water aerobics. And so I feel it, I'm not gaining the weight, which is great, but I'm not losing as I was, and I'm not feeling as focused. And so you're right. That exercise part, whether it's walking, yoga, it makes a difference. One guest had said, just put the music on and just move your body.
Yep.
Doesn't matter how your body moves, just move it.
Exactly. And I'm even with aqua aerobics, like I just start certified in aqua Zumba, and how impactful of multiple ages can take it, how it's gentle on the joints, how it has all of these benefits, and you're in community with people in the pool. And
Yes.
so good for you for taking aquas. And it's, again, people are scared. They're like, what is this in the water? And it's actually really fun.
It is, and I suffer with rheumatoid, and so it is gentler, if that's the word to use, on my joints, and I'm getting the impact. Like, you're getting a major workout of your whole body, and you don't think it.
Yes, the resistance in the water, because you have to utilize your body for the resistance in the water. It's awesome. It's amazing.
It is. So how has your faith or spirituality shaped your healing process?
Ooh. There are times where I've cried to the sky of like, why is this happening to me? I don't understand. It's sitting and being grounded in my faith, honestly, to get me to the next level. I think between the grit that I've been put by my family to trusting in basically faith that, okay, I put the work in, I have the motivation, I'm just going to trust it to the universe and see what happens. Because I will admit, I'm a very much like, I like to like keep a tight grip on things and hold on to things. And sometimes the universe like, okay, you're going to hold on to it very hard, then we're going to basically try to shake it loose from you when it's no longer serving you. Right. And there are multiple times when the universe has shooken me so many times of like, this does not belong to you. You need to let this go. And I'm like, but it's what I'm used to. It's what I'm comfortable with. It's what I know. And I think that's where, again, the like, okay, there's a reason why this is being shaken out of my hands. So let me trust my faith, my process, and who I am as a person, that this is gonna go through. And and 9 times out of 10, it works, honestly. Like probably once where I'm just like, oh no, this is not good. But it works, honestly. And I think for me, that is of trusting yourself and trusting the universe and trusting that the universe basically got your back. There's a reason for things. I heard a story where the person's like, I want to leave this apartment, but I'm comfortable in this apartment, and literally the next day their apartment turned on fire. And so I think that's the universe like, oh, we know you're not going to do it, so we're just going to do it for you and keep the door in and figure it out for you. And so after I heard that story, now I'm more trusting of, okay, if you're trying to shake this out of my hand for a reason, let me let it go and trust the process and trust the person up there is has my best interest at heart. Because
that's right.
Hard.
That's right. We always have the answers. We think we do, and we think we're in control, and we're like walking around blind, even though we think we have the eyes. And it's like, no. I remember saying when I was definitely lost, I was like, I need a crystal ball. Yep. I need to see. And it's like, no, you don't. Because if you see it, you'll be making all kind of mistakes. And
oh my God.
You just got to trust. You got to trust them.
Like Issa Rae said in Insecure, I would just like to fast forward to the good part. And my dad likes to say, he's like, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And yes. So the journey transitions you into the person you need to be when you need that strength to come in, basically. So
that's right. So are there any other practices or routines that have helped you along the way?
Praying helps. Praying helps. And honestly, I think the one thing, again, that imposter syndrome that kicks in is trusting myself a lot more and that I got this. I think, again, as Black women, we are kind of talked down to and undermined, like we don't know what we're doing. It's kind of like, well, you don't know what you're doing, even though I have all these certifications and these degrees and all of these things that show that I'm qualified, I understand, and that takes a step back. I think again, going back to just trusting myself that I got this,
Yeah.
that I have the knowledge and I have the support system that's going to help push me through, honestly.
That's right. Amen. Amen to that. And what role has community support played in your journey?
Ooh, if it wasn't for the community, I wouldn't have started my business. I will say this, um, starting out my career, I thought one way, and working with community activists and organizations and just the people in the community has changed my mindset of how integral your village is to make sure that you thrive. Especially in the pregnancy and postpartum arena, the village is so important. Again, as I worked at when I worked at the hospital, of what happens to the person when they don't have a village when they leave this facility. What happens to them? And so for me, getting in community with the village outside of that has really changed my mindset. Like, well, I want to be a part of the village. I want to contribute what I have to make the village more broad or give more access, give more things. As as the world behind us is happening, you want to contribute to the village. And especially after what happened in November, I'm like, oh no, no. I need to be a part of the village because things are going to start getting snatched up and the village is really integral to keep thriving and keep going and helping. So the village, I would say the community inspired Prismatic Venus Fitness and has motivated me to want to be a part of the village and just help, honestly.
Amen. Amen. And I'm so glad you birthed that business, honey, because we need it. So, what advice would you give to someone facing similar challenges?
Keep going. I know it's hard. And I know if you look like us, sometimes the doors get slammed in your face probably a lot more than you expect, honestly, and it can be very heartbreaking. But that means that opportunity wasn't for you. You don't want to be in a situation where you're forcing someone to see your value. Someone's going to see your value and it's okay. And as long as you have your village saying, like, I see your value, I understand your vision, and I'm going to support you, that's what matters. And even if you don't have that village, sometimes it's okay to take a break and take a step back, exercise, be one with the earth, go gardening, go to an event, go to a concert, go do something that makes you happy and come back with a different mindset, honestly. Because I I will say if you sit in it for a very long time, you get very frustrated with yourself and you're like, why am I doing this? This is dumb. I don't want to do this anymore. Whereas like, no, you need to take breaks. And breaks, and this is something I'm still learning. Breaks are not a reward for you doing the work. Breaks are necessary for you to keep functioning and keep going, honestly. And honestly, that's something my husband has been really big on. Like, you need to take breaks. And again, I'm like, no, I don't need to take a break. Taking a break means I'm stopping and all the things and do. But no, the breaks are integral. You're a car. Your car needs to get oil changed. Your car needs to get tires. Your car needs all these different mechanics. You need those mechanics as well. So that's, yeah.
So, I would ask you, what is a healthy amount of time to sit in your emotion?
Ooh. I, you know what? It's different for everybody. I will say I just need 1 to 2 days. I need 1 to 2 days to recharge, and then I'm back. I'm very ambivert. I probably said that wrong. Ambivert person. I'm very extroverted and introverted. So I'm like I can be very extroverted until my social battery's like do. All right, I need to go away for 2 to 3 days. I'll come back in a better space. And sometimes I may need longer depending on how much of my social battery I have used.
I
So
agree.
so I will say for me, normally it takes like 2 to 3 days. But if it's like something like really time consuming, I would say almost a week,
Yeah.
honestly. And that's me acknowledging, oh, I don't bounce back as quick as I used to, and that is okay. And I need to take a break and I need to rest my body and do other things such as massages, the sauna at the gym to kind of loosen the muscles, even those big cryo chambers. There's a company that does like the big cryo where you stand in it for like and you look like Mr. Freeze. And even sometimes IVs for myself. So just taking, especially because I teach so many classes, just taking care of my body is really integral and that gives me time away from the house. I'm sure I love my house, my husband, and the cat. I just need Brittany time. or going to a movie that I've been looking forward to by myself, or going to go to lunch by myself. Just doing stuff for me that makes me happy, honestly.
Amen. And I agree with you. It definitely depends on the situation. I know for me, when I was working in the school system, I was hurt. When I say hurt, I was hurt. How do they say butt hurt? But I thought I got over it, but it actually took about 3 years. It
Yeah.
took 3 years to sit in it. And I have given some advice to someone recently. Do not allow it to fester and go on that long. So yes, sit in it, but don't, because it starts to change you, and it started to change how I showed up and how I provided grace to other people, because I was like, yep, I see it coming. And they're like, see what? Because there ain't nothing coming. But because I'm hurt, I'm showing up different, right? And I'm not allowing people to the grace they need, and also showing up as myself. I had another recent encounter. Thank God he delivered me from it. And that's the longest I believe I have gone through sitting in an emotion. Recently I had a situation, and that took 2 months. And I was like, man, but when it shook off me, it really felt like a release. And that's the theme this year, release. And so if you're not taking anything away from what we're saying about sitting in emotions, you need to know yourself.
Yeah.
And then also to recognize when it has been too long, when you start to change, when you start to just like go into a shell retreat, or if your emotion is more erratic or more impulsive, and that's just not you, you got to check yourself. And then you have to reach out for that help. I don't know about you, sis, but I am a big fan of Jesus in therapy. Like, I believe it goes hand in hand.
No, I think why I took the FMLA, my therapist, she clocked it. She's just like, you need to go on FMLA. And this was in March. And I was like, no, I don't. She's like, no, I'm noting some things that you're starting. And I, at first I was like, you don't know what you're talking about, Miss Therapist Lady, that I paid this money to.
Right.
And then as time had gone on, I noticed my productivity at work wasn't doing well. I noticed like I was more irritable with my husband. And again, sometimes you're not self-aware of it. Sometimes, like you said, you need someone else to kind of come in like, no, I know who you are, and I'm seeing a change in you, and you need to take a step back. So now I'm on FMLA trying to sit in it, and trust me, it's not easy to acknowledge to take a break, especially as a Black woman, where you're just like, it's not gonna get done. I need to be there. And it's kind of like, no, sometimes you can take a step back. Sometimes other people need to handle the workload because it's not fully on you. And if it my therapist said, like, if it crumbles, let it crumble. That means the system needed to crumble, and you were the one person holding it together. Then let it crumble. It's fine. It's like,
yeah, I agree. High five to your therapist. So how do you maintain resilience in the face of ongoing challenges? It's just like that thing just be going, and you be like trying to do the matrix on
the
them.
matrix. Oh, repeat the question.
Sorry, I like threw you all right. Okay, you went all in the matrix. But how do you maintain resilience when you're facing ongoing challenges?
Oh, my family. Honestly, I think that's the one thing that I kind of go back to is my family. I will say this: when I first started working, I was very dedicated to my career. My career was my thing. My career and my friends, and dipping it and doing it. Those were the three things. As time has gone on, and seeing as my family has, especially my parents, my grandparents are getting older, and now that I'm married to my husband and he comes from a huge family, how important family support is in just your journey in general, honestly. And even if it's even some people that aren't Adam, my husband Adam's family, like friends and family, and my best friend from college, just like that I met at FAM, the community and the family you build are really important to where I'm going, honestly. And honestly, again, if it wasn't for the support of like my sister, my parents, my husband, my grandparents, my best friend, I would literally be like a lost shell. So far, again, your community, your village, my village and community, those are really important, and they're a guiding light, and they're a North Star for me, honestly.
And one of the keys to knowing if you have the right village or if you need to reassess your village is that without saying anything, that they know when something's off. They know. And you're like, "Ooh, you're my person."
Right? No, like literally my husband be like, what's wrong? It's like, what are you talking about? I didn't say anything. He's like, I know something's wrong. What's wrong? My mom does the same thing. And so does my sister. And so does my dad. So everyone, you're correct. Sometimes you may have people in your village that aren't supposed to be there. They're there for quoting a reason, a season, or a lifetime.
That's
and
it.
sometimes when you try to, again, the holding on to seasonal people, and you're just like, they're not here for you, and they're gonna make your journey a lot harder than you think they are, honestly. And that is a hard lesson that I've had to learn myself as well.
Yeah.
Of letting certain people go, to letting them back into the universe to find their tribe, because they're not supposed to be a part of your tribe.
Yes. Amen. So, what is one message you hope listeners take away from your story?
Ooh. Believe in yourself. Make sure you have the right tribe around you. And community is a lot more important than you think. I know I said 3 different things, but I think believing yourself and that the universe has got your back, and that sometimes holding on to things for dear life is actually more detrimental to your journey than letting go and like trusting yourself, and that you have the tenacity and grit to basically get through anything. Honestly, it may not feel it in the moment. Trust me, I know it may not feel that way in the moment, but there is another side, and I promise there is another side on the end of it. And the other side is your community, your family, your friends, and the people that love and support you, and the life that you've been working so hard for, honestly.
Amen. Amen. So I know there are folks out there like, okay, this is great. I need to talk to Brittany. Like, Alicia, don't gatekeep. So please tell them, how can they get in touch with you?
So I know I sent you some things, but I've done a little bit of rebrand. So you can, my website I've just recently updated is prismaticvenusfitness.com. In addition, I'm on Instagram with the PVF_tribe. So it's updating. I'm working my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel, Prismatic Venus Fitness YouTube. Those are my 3 primary places you can find me. Oh, on Facebook, which is Prismatic Venus Fitness as well.
Awesome.
Right now I'm almost done with my prenatal fitness certification.
Ooh.
And so then I will be able to start taking on clients. I'm also getting into the health coaching, which I'll be focusing on pre and postnatal participants for health coaching as well once I finish all that up. And I'm excited to help the community and be a part of the village and be a resource for pregnant and postpartum people for the next steps in their journey, and help them get to the other side, because sometimes you just need someone to help you get to the other side.
Amen. Well, again, thank you, Brittany, for your time. This will not be the last time you see Brittany.
No, of course not.
And she's also one of our partners. So check out our website, iseemybaby.org. She's there. Thanks again, Brittany, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today on the journey to wholeness. We hope this episode has offered you a sense of hope, comfort, and perhaps even a new perspective on your own journey. If today's story resonated with you, remember that you're not alone. Healing is a process, and each step you take brings you closer to wholeness. Here, we believe in the power of community, and we're so grateful to have you as a part of us. To stay connected with us, follow I See My Baby Incorporated on social media and visit our website at www.iseemybaby.org. If you or someone you know has a story to share, reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep walking, keep healing, and remember, your journey to wholeness is worth every step. Take care, and thank you for listening.